Our starting lineups.
WPIAL Boys Class 2A Championship. And it pits the Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Chargers with a record of 22-2 in playoff victories over Springdale and Jeanette on the path to the P, against the defending champions Sewickley Academy Panthers, a record of 20-4 in wins over Leechburg and Chartiers Houston on their path to the P. Let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the Chargers of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, 6'3" junior, number 1, Rico Tate. 6'6" sophomore, number 5, Donovan Johnson. A 5'11" freshman, number 11, Dante Spadafora. 6'1" junior, number 13, Darren DeMichael. And a 6'1" junior, number 24, Austin Wigley. The head coach of the Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Chargers, Mike Rodriguez. And now, the starters for Sewickley Academy. 6'6" junior, number 23, Nate Ridgway. 6'1" sophomore, number 24, Jet Rosing. A 6'4" sophomore, number 3, Isaiah Warfield. 6' sophomore, number 5, Isaiah Smith. And a 6'1" senior, number 2, Dave Gretsch. The head coach of the Sewickley Academy Panthers, Win Palmer.
There you have it, your starting lineups for this 1 versus 2 rematch. Not only for the championship game last year, Sean, but also for going into the season this year. You mentioned Our Lady of Sacred Heart won the first contest. Sewickley Academy comes and gets the rematch. Rubber match here tonight, but one team definitely healthier than the other coming into this contest.
Yeah, Sewickley Academy got through most of the season unscathed. Now, they did have Nate Ridgway, their big man, out for some of the playoffs, but he returned in the decisive victory against Chartiers Houston, a game that that Sewickley Academy won 65-33 in completely dominating fashion. He scored his 1,000th point in that game. On the other side, for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, Donovan Johnson's battled tendonitis in both his knees. He is playing, but will be not at 100%, and they also are without their key reserve, Tyler Bradley. He's injured against Jeanette.
Ball is tipped, and first possession will go to Sewickley Academy. They're moving left to right as you watch across your phone, tablet, or computer screen. Quickly driving the lane and kicking it back out is Smith, driving baseline, kick out pass to the corner. Left all alone there was Gretsch for 3, shot short, and battling around. It'll be an offensive rebound in the early going for Sewickley Academy.
Good start for the Panthers on the glass. And both of these offenses tremendously potent.
Sewickley Academy with a lot of experience coming back this year, and there's one of them, Isaiah Smith, the sophomore, driving the lane and getting the first 2 for the Panthers.
Smith averaging 14 points per game. He's one of 5 players for the Panthers who average in double figures.
2 of the top 3 scoring offenses in all of the WPIAL. Deep NBA range 3 is going to be shot too strong for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Still fighting for the rebound. Sewickley will finally come down with it. And it's Gretsch will bring it across the floor. And it's parting of the Red Seas right down the lane. But big block by Rico Tate. It's a 3-on-2 coming the other way for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Wigley will put it up, in, but a travel call first. First turnover of the game will go against Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Good transition defense back, Sean.
Yeah, I thought that Wigley had done a nice job getting the defender to leave his feet, but just shuffled, and that was after the block by Tate on the other end. Both these teams we mentioned, they can score the basketball, but they're also noted for tremendous defensive attributes.
Driving left hand, switch to the right. Nice play. Nate Ridgway makes it 4-0 Sewickley.
The first time that these teams met this season at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, the Panthers got off to a red-hot start. It was a second-half comeback by the Chargers that allowed them to get the victory, but they certainly do not want to fall into another first-half deficit.
Nice dribble drive into the lane. Hesitation in the air. Up and good. Austin Wigley. One of the only 2 players for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart with experience coming back this year, Sean. Three-pointer on the way. Too strong. Defensive rebound brought down by Tate. They're going to quickly move it up the court and try to get a transition bucket. Euro step and a charge going to be called against Donovan Johnson.
Well, that was good defense. You mentioned the transition defense previously by the Panthers. We see it again here on this play. Great job by Isaiah Smith setting his feet, or excuse me, that was actually Isaiah Warfield who set his feet. Johnson went right into his chest for the offensive foul.
Both Isaiahs came off the bench last year as freshmen for the defending WPIAL and defending PIAA champions. Sewickley Academy in their 3rd straight trip here to the Pete for a championship game. Three-pointer from the corner, nothing but net for Dave Gretsch. 3 players already on the board for Sewickley. It's a 7-0 lead, or 7-2 lead, check that. Near side, pump fake, now driving the lane is DeMichael. His shot up, no good, but foul called on the play.
First team foul against Sewickley Academy. Good start for the Panthers in this contest, taking the 5-point edge as Ridgway charged with the first. When Palmer's very happy to have Ridgway back in the lineup.
Mentioned came back for that semifinal game and got a nice milestone in the process. Getting trapped in the corner there is DeMichael, able to find the man down low, but stripped away nicely on the play. Sewickley Academy with the steal in transition, layup no good. Foul's going to be called on the reach-in from behind. That was all started by Jet Rosing making the steal down low. Yeah,
Rosing, the one player in the starting lineup that did not see significant minutes a year ago. He has been a revelation here in 2017-18, averaging over 16 points a game. And as we saw in that last play, he can get after it defensively as well.
So 2 free throws upcoming for David Gretsch. One of 5 starters, all 5 starters for Sewickley Academy, averaging double figures this year, Sean. But he's one of the few on the court today who's not going to college for athletics and for basketball specifically.
Yeah, he's going to Notre Dame, but he's not going to be playing for the Fighting Irish on the hardwood as he strokes the second to extend his team's lead to 6. Yeah, Coach Palmer thought that between these teams, there might be more future college basketball players, or at least college athletes, than any other championship game all weekend long.
Pass down low for Tate. Nice spin move up and in. Good post move for a team that doesn't have a lot of post players really there, Sean.
Yeah, they can get it inside, but they don't have like the 6'6" body like Ridgway for Sewickley Academy.
Drive shot, no good for Isaiah Warfield. The other Isaiah Smith nearly gets the steal in the backcourt. They're going to say last touch, though, by Smith. Possession will stay with Our Lady of the Sacred Heart with 5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter.
Dante Spatafor is an electric player. He's so exciting as a freshman. He's going to make some freshman mistakes, but he's going to make some plays on both ends that will absolutely stun you as a fan. He is just an incredibly talented player.
Our Lady of the Sacred Heart has possession. Spatafor, a good drive, kick out, NBA range 3, shot short, and ball knocked out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Possession goes over to Sewickley Academy, and we see this in all these championship games. A lot more space here than you normally see at a high school gymnasium, especially early on in the game. Those shots will come up short.
And there is 2 different three-point lines. We're utilizing the blue line. That is the high school distance.
Good hesitation move, drive into the lane for Warfield. He's got a bucket. That's 4 different players already in the scoring column. Good balance in scoring when you have 5 players averaging double figures for Coach Win Palmer.
And that's been the case almost all season long. These 5 starters have all been balanced in their scoring output.
Another turnover, fast break going the other way, but they're going to call a kickball as Rico Tate coming back in transition, able to get a foot on it and at least stop the potential 2-on-1.
And Rosing tried to go with the no-look pass here. Rosing, by the way, changed his number throughout the season. When I saw him previously, he was wearing number 11, but now donning the number 24 jersey.
Three-pointer on the way, rattles home for Isaiah Smith, who then stares down, it looks like, at the Our Lady of the Sacred Heart bench. Guess you can do that with a 9-point lead.
And that typically could elicit a technical foul if the officials are right there. And I think that Smith has to be careful, but by the same token, you love the confidence that the Panthers are showing in the early going.
With that 30-second timeout called there by Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. You mentioned that could warrant a technical. That actually played a big factor in Our Lady of the Sacred Heart getting here to this championship game against Jeanette. Jeanette took a lead in the second half after they trailed by double digits all throughout the first half. They took a lead, and after a free throw, you had a technical foul call for something being said towards the bench and towards the stands.
Yeah, and it happened to be Jeanette's best player, Anthony Johnson, who was ejected from the contest. It was his second technical of the game. And to compound matters for Jeanette, they actually had Marcus Barnes, another starter, who was missing the game because he was ejected in the prior victory. So Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, the Chargers will take it, but they had certainly their hands full with a undermanned Jeanette team just to get to this point.
We mentioned also Tyler Bradley out today, the sixth man off the bench with a foot injury in that game as well.
Great football player for them also. He's the quarterback for the team.
Back to the action, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart out of the timeout. A little more offensive intensity, but defensively almost knocking away there is Sewickley. OLSH maintaining possession. Good ball movement around the outside, drive into the lane, blocked from behind, but they're going to say that Warfield got a piece of the arm on the way up. Spatafor will have 2 free throws.
There's an aggressive take, and he hung in the air just long enough. Looked like that might have been all ball on Isaiah Smith, but nonetheless, Spatafor heads to the charity stripe.
Smith picks up his first personal. It's the first free throw. Rattles home for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. It's been pretty much all Sewickley Academy early, especially from downtown. Knocking down a couple threes in the early going. Lead now down to 7 as Spatafor connects on both free throws. Coming the other way. Good hesitation move into the lane for Gretsch. Kicks it back out. Sewickley will stay in possession. Funny, Dave Gretsch here at Sewickley Academy. We're going to see younger sister playing tomorrow, Sean, for the North Allegheny Tigers.
Yeah, Lizzie Gretsch on the undefeated NA squad going for the 6A championship.
Nice crossover into the lane. Shot won't fall from 12 feet for Smith. Ball on the ground, and Smith will grab his own offensive rebound. Wide open, down low, up and in, Ridgeway, but a good find on the way from Warfield.
There's a great pass, but just a breakdown in the defense is the 6'6" player unaccounted for underneath the hoop.
Can't leave the biggest man open under the basket. Now a traveling violation. Turnover number 3 in the early going for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart.
And I highlighted all the great attributes of Spatafor. He is a energy-filled player, but he's also a freshman, and this is the big stage, the biggest one that he's ever played on in his career. And for head coach Mike Rodriguez, I'm sure that's somewhat of a concern. He wants his young players to come out confident and not be overwhelmed by the moment, but in the early going, it certainly seems like Sewickley Academy is the more experienced and certainly more poised bunch as the Chargers go to the bench with Michael Dugan checking into the contest.
Yeah, he'll replace Spatafor, who'll take a seat on the bench next to Coach Rodriguez for a couple of minutes, and driving the lane right away and getting to the free throw line as a result is Sewickley Academy. Gretchen Scott right down the lane. No, that's going to check that and say it is on the floor, Sean.
And Dugan, recently inserted, picks up the personal. Will Nacito, the reserve, into the game now for the Panthers as well.
Both teams going to their bench early. Not too deep of teams, either one of these. How about that one for Ridgeway, fighting through the traffic down low and giving his team a double-digit lead, 17-6.
That was a difficult shot. That's good defense by Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, and ultimately Ridgeway with better offense.
Spin out of the double team there for Wigley. Finds the open man down low for the lay-in. That's Dugan off the bench with his first points.
And a good job by Dugan gathering the basketball first. He didn't immediately put it up and rush the shot.
Sewickley Academy in possession. Kick out. Three-pointer on the way. Nothing but net. Team shoots quite well from beyond the arc, Sean. 37% from three-point range. Now over 200 threes made on the year.
Yeah, they basically shoot well from every part of the floor. At the line, two-point land, three-point distance as well. Just a great offensive squad.
Cross-court pass, and Warfield tried to get the interception but commits the foul instead. His first. 3 team fouls for each team as we're down less than 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter.
And Smith returns to the floor. Ridgeway now heads to the bench for the Panthers. You mentioned that it's not a surprise being that these are 2A schools, but they don't have great depth. Sewickley Academy has players that come in and they fill other roles, but they don't have much scoring off the bench whatsoever.
Quick three taken in front of his own bench for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart by Johnson. No good, but they're going to get a foul on the rebound. Wait to see who they called that on. So it was a
It's on Gretsch.
Huge traffic down low, and they will give Gretsch his first. 4th team foul. A little tough time getting it inbounded there. They finally do, does Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Wigley drives the lane and can't get the basket to go. Sewickley trying to make it in transition, but good job hustling back again. Both teams in transition defense, Sean, been very strong in the early going.
Yeah, they have, and that's going to be key. They both know how potent their opponents are in the transition game.
Good defense played there again by Spatafor. Deep NBA range 3, beyond NBA range. No good. Put back no good either for Warfield. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart able to get the defensive rebound. Quickly driving the lane. Contact as he puts the shot up, but missing everything there was Spatafora.
And I think you're starting to see some nerves for some of these players. They're taking very difficult shots. Rosing from, as you said, about 25 feet. Spatafora, a very high degree of difficulty on his last attempt.
Kicking back out. Another NBA range 3. Too strong, no good from Rosing. Long rebound. Good save there. It was Will Nacito able to keep possession alive. And how about that block? Rico Tate says, get it out of here. Possession will stay with Sewickley.
Tate, the only starter who does not average double figures in scoring for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, but a team leading 8 rebounds, and he shows that he can defend at the rim as well.
Sean, you mentioned the nerves for both of these teams. Talking to Win Palmer, he said even though both teams were here last year, the nervousness is still going to be there. It's a big stage, it's a big game, it's the rubber match.
You really can't replicate this environment either.
Going down low is Ridgeway. It looked like he may have gotten away with a travel. Couldn't make the shot anyway. Speaking of getting away with the travel, Spatafor almost commits one in the backcourt as well for OLSH. 3-pointer in the corner, lefty, can't quite get the roll. Johnson, ball comes near corner though. Good save. How about that steal for Isaiah Smith? One-on-one hesitation and coming back and making the block. Austin Wigley, transition defense yet again, Sean. No easy buckets here tonight.
How about just great defense both ways? Smith jumps the passing lane, thought he had a chance to get to the cup, but Wigley back quickly to negate that. Smith is a player that is averaging over 3 steals a game, 3.1 to be exact, to lead his squad.
Alex Boyden will check now into the ball game for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Inbounds pass looking to go all the way into the backcourt. Smith will track it down there. We'll see Coach Win Palmer waiting for one last shot. Smith being guarded by Spatafor. He's going to look to take him one-on-one, drive down the right side, and able to get the floater to go from 8 feet. 3-quarter court shot coming up, and it's going to be just short, though it did graze the net from Spatafor, but that's how your first quarter comes to an end. Sewickley Academy with the 22-8 lead at the end of one. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening and watching the 2018 WPIAL Boys Basketball Championships here only on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries.
Back here at the Peterson Events Center on the University of Pittsburgh campus. Alongside Sean Myers, I'm James Dotson, and that's tough to say as the Penn State grads of the Trib Live High School Sports Network that we're here at the Pete, but happy to be here, obviously.
Great venue, and it's a gigantic weekend down here. 12 championship games. Of course, we have live video coverage of all of them, as well as 2 days of the swimming championships just across the street.
Yeah, those are yesterday and today. You were over there yesterday for it. As Our Lady of the Sacred Heart had first possession, can't get the bucket to go. The transition defense breaks down this time for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart as Nate Ridgeway gets his 6th point of the ball game. 24-8 lead Sewickley Academy.
Ridgeway's the type of guy who can show up in the biggest moments throughout the season.
Three's not falling for the Chargers of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Is that one from Wigley too strong? Sewickley will be in possession. Warfield, little shake and bake. Kicks it out now to Ridgeway. He gets a step. Good ball movement right now for Sewickley Academy and not forcing any shots in the early going. Warfield, he'll split the defense. Goes up, soft touch, gets it to fall. Nice run now of 9-0 for Smith.
Smith able to get inside, and again, we mentioned it. He was part and an integral part of the team that somewhat shocked the state by winning the PIAA title last year against Constitution.
That was an overtime game at the Giants Center a year ago as that shot doesn't fall for Spatafor. in the forecourt is Sewickley, and getting pushed into the bench there was Warfield. He'll pick up, or he'll draw the foul, I should say. They are going to get it on DeMichael for his first foul. 14 fouls apiece as we're in the early going of quarter number 2.
And again, we know how good the Panthers are at the charity stripe, so if they're able to get in the bonus, that would work even more in their favor.
Right now, the shooting woes for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, a big difference in this game. Unable to knock down any three-pointers, whereas Sewickley knocked down 3 in the first quarter. Speaking of threes, how about nothing but net for Nate Ridgway from the top of the key?
What a luxury it is for Win Palmer to have a 6'6" junior who can stroke it from behind the arc. As the timeout called by head coach Mike Rodriguez, it is all Sewickley Academy, complete dominance here in the early going.
Remind you that if you're a working professional ready to move up in your career, Seton Hill University has a program just for you. Seton Hill's adult degree program offers flexible undergraduate degree courses in areas like accounting, criminal justice, business, and human services. The adult degree program has 5 start dates each year and offers convenient course times, financial aid, a 96% placement rate, and career services for life. Register for their next info session and learn more at setonhill.edu/ADP. Seton Hill University, this way up.
You sound pretty natural doing that. If I have my way out, make sure that maybe you get to do a commercial for that read at some point.
I gladly, I very much appreciate that, Sean Myers.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Now let me ask you this, as this timeout comes with 6:16 remaining in quarter number 2, full timeout called by Coach Rodriguez. His team obviously struggling in the early going. Right now, Sewickley Academy on a 12-0 run. What is it that you're saying to your crew when shots aren't falling, and for Sewickley, everything's going in?
Well, first off, they have to do a better job defensively. There's no doubt the Panthers are on pace for 85-plus points. However, I think that the message for Coach Rodriguez is we deserve to be here. We're that good of a team. We hung with the Sewickley Academy team in both games, defeating them the first time around. We know we can play with them. So right now, I know it's your first time playing on this floor, but just play basketball.
Mentioned both these teams here last year. For Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, though, only 2 players really with any experience from that game last year in Johnson and Wigley. 3-pointer on the way for DeMichael, shot no good. A good backside rebound, and DeMichael will get the return pass up, in, and the foul. That's a good way to come out of the timeout.
And I think Wigley's the guy that really looks like he's the poised player out there for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. He had a first quarter field goal, but he's making the plays now as he has a beautiful dish underneath after corralling the offensive rebound. Good job by DeMichael to get the hoop and the harm as he hung in the air. And finally, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart now in double figures in scoring.
Can't complete the 3-point play, though, is DeMichael. So score remains 29-10. A little bit of life out of the timeout for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Another block down low for Rico Tate for the Chargers. Across the timeline is Spadafora. He'll look to drive right in the lane. Shot up, no good, and a charging call against Spadafora.
That's a tough break there. Spadafora plays full speed ahead. That's the only speed at this point that he knows. Great job, however, by Gretsch. He had his feet set. The official was right there. And ultimately, this senior came up with a strong defensive play. Gretsch is a guy, he averages just over 10 points per game, but he's a glue guy. He does so many little things, and he also provides a ton of leadership for the Panthers.
3-pointer on the near side is short for Smith. Numbers for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Euro step, finger roll, up and good. Rico Tate with his 4th points.
That's a heck of a take there by Tate as he extended the arm with a nice touch.
Quickly the other way, looking for a cutter and not able to find one there is Gretsch. Instead kicks it back out to Smith to set up the offense. A little rejuvenation right now for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart defensively, and ball on the floor, and it looks like Spadafora is going to pick up his 2nd personal as he reached in and gave a little bit of a shove before that ball became loose.
And for Spadafora, he has to make sure that he keeps his composure. Disbelief as he went diving to the floor. He has to make sure that he doesn't allow that to affect his performance out there. And he's going to stay on the floor. I think that's an interesting decision by Coach Rodriguez.
After picking up that 2nd personal there, he will stay on the court. Will Nacito just checked back in for Sewickley Academy. Pass down low. Actually, maybe a shot attempt that got blocked away out of the hands of Ridgway. 4-on-3 coming the other way for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Cross-court pass, though, way too high and goes into the zoo here at the Peterson Event Center. Another turnover, fourth of the game for the Chargers.
Tate just airmailed that one and spat a four. The look of disgust on his face after he saw the ball soar over his outstretched arms.
Sewickley with possession. Started this quarter on a 7-0 run. That was part of a 12-0 run to extend the lead to be as much as 21 at one point for the Panthers here tonight. Second of 4 games here tonight at the Pete. Shot up, good, count it, and a foul. Isaiah Warfield drawing some contact, and again, spreading the wealth all around Sean Myers. Any one of these players can go to the hole at will.
And Warfield has been a revelation here in 2017-18 as DeMichael charged with his second as well. He leads the team 16.2 points per game, also leads them in rebounding, just shy of 7, and leads them in blocks. He's received his first significant college offer recently. That came from Duquesne.
Completing the three-point play as well. He now has 8. Isaiah Smith with 9. Ridgway with 9. Spreading the wealth for Coach Palmer's squad. Shot partially blocked there. Johnson will get his offensive rebound, puts it up, and he'll get it to fall.
Are they going to count the hoop?
I've not seen a signal for that. Well, he's saying 2 shots.
Yeah, they're...
All right, so there it is. There's the signal for the points counting. So Donovan Johnson will get the and one opportunity. Those are his first 2 points of the ball game. For your leading scorer to get down near the midway point of quarter number 2 before getting his first points of the game, definitely not what Coach Rodriguez was looking for.
We know that Johnson playing well shy of 100%. He's had tendonitis in both knees. It's been a recurring problem. That was the case when these teams met the first time back on the 16th of January. He's battled through it. He's had a great campaign. And speaking of offers from Duquesne, he also got one from the Dukes recently.
And we're going to have a lane violation here on as Johnson's free throw does not go in, but I believe it was Warfield who took a step into the paint too early, as Coach Wynn Palmer is still having a conversation there with the official about that continuation call that gave Johnson this opportunity at the and one.
He's the younger brother of Cameron Johnson, former Pitt Panther, who's now playing at the University of North Carolina.
Younger brother completes the three-point play with the help of the second free throw offering. Driving, no good. Offensive rebound put back on that miss. Can't go either for Ridgway. As all of a sudden there's a bit of a lid on the basket, it feels like, for Sewickley Academy. Johnson for 3. It's good. Watch out if he starts heating up, and I think Coach Palmer thinking the same thing as he's going to take a 30-second timeout here for Sewickley.
Yeah, kind of had the feeling that the Chargers would get it going eventually. They're just too good of a team and too good of an offense, averaging 77.5 points per game. That's one of the top marks, if not the top mark in the entire district. It was only a matter of time, and Johnson, he's a guy that's going to knock down those open looks. The Panthers will have to do a better job closing out on the three-point line, but again, Sewickley Academy, courtesy of that great start, still has a 14-point edge.
And that's exactly, I think, what Coach Palmer is saying, is that, we started off strong. Let's not get complacent. Well, we saw that in a couple of the semifinal games where a team got a big lead, one in particular in the Class 3A girls game. Bishop Canterman jumped out to a 24-7 lead and then tried to play a stall tactic the rest of the way. Sometimes if you take the air out of the ball or if you get complacent, especially against a good team like Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, anything can happen, Sean. You don't want to give any chance for a comeback.
I don't think that's what the Panthers are going to do. They're certainly not going to take the air out of the basketball. They play an aggressive approach offensively. They like to get out on the fast break, and they'll play generally a high-tempo attack.
Thought maybe be first to 80 tonight would win.
Now, he did say that they were more frantic offensively earlier in the season, and they're a little bit more poised now, but that doesn't mean you still can't get good looks quick in the shot or in the possession.
Good patience here. Now driving into a triple team is Warfield, and he took an extra step as he kind of got tied up along the way. Possession will go over to Sewickley. Yeah, he lost possession momentarily there, Sean, and by the time he picked it back up, took the extra shuffle step.
And that was a good job of Rico Tate helping defensively to force that turnover.
Three-man weave look as Dugan back in the lineup for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Wigley will drive into traffic. He can't get it to go, and he'll pick up the offensive foul as in position and plenty of time down low. I believe that was Warfield.
Indeed is Warfield. And obviously the scouting report given out by Coach Win Palmer to his players is set your feet defensively, because right now the Chargers a bit out of control in their takes to the hoop, and give credit to the Panthers, they are in position.
Chargers are charging 3 times already with the charging violation. Now charging down the court after the steal is Johnson. His shot can't go. Good save by Tate to keep it in play, and also Spatafora coming down and recognizing that Tate was going to have to save the ball out of bounds and able to maintain possession for OLSH.
Tate's playing with a lot of energy as the basketball tipped into the backcourt.
So no over and back as it was tipped across the line. Now driving the lane. Johnson left open in the corner again. This shot short. Tate another rebound. Third chance up and in.
Tate's activity level has been tremendous, but the Panthers got lucky initially that Johnson missed that look. He's had now 3 wide open shots from that same corner.
Well, he knocked down 1 so far, has Johnson and the Chargers from beyond the arc. They've cut the lead back down to 12. It was as much as 21 early in this second quarter for Sewickley Academy. Shake and bake. Kick out. Nocita will put up a 3. Can't get it to fall. On the rebound, Tate has to save from going out of bounds. Sewickley almost comes up with it, but OLSH will maintain possession. Spatafora drives the lane up, and they're going to get a blocking call this time, as I think sliding in just a little bit too late was the Sewickley defender. Gretsch wanted it. He's not going to get it this time.
And we could see that developing, that Spatafora kind of put his head down and made up his mind. He was taking it all the way, and the defense rid that as well. But ultimately, Nocito just wasn't able to have his feet set completely and square his body up. Sometimes you can have the feet set but move your upper torso, and that, I believe, was the case there for Nocito.
Yeah, it's leaned a little bit at the last second. So first free throw up and good for Spatafora. That's his 3rd point, all coming from the free throw line here for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Another one coming. Cut the lead down to 10, and he does. Freshman averaging 14 points per game. Mentioned with Sewickley Academy having 5 starters in double figures on average. OLSH with 4 on their own. Now about that defense. You mentioned how prolific these offenses are. You mentioned as well, though, the defense is really where these teams feed their energy, and they get a lot of points in transition as a result.
Yes, Sewickley Academy allowing less than 49 points per game. On the other side, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart just over 53.
Good active hands, lots of deflections, lots of blocks in this first half. Smith barely inbounds, puts one up from the corner, got knocked down. No foul call there. How about the behind the back pass? It's down on the block from Riesing. He'll get possessions maintained for Sewickley Academy. Another 3-pointer. Rattles around, no good. Sewickley just can't get a basket to fall. 2, 3, 4 chances, and now OLSH can cut it down to single digits.
Well, that 3-pointer by Riesing was halfway down before it popped out. I think it'd be big mentally here for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart to trim it to single digits.
Wiggly does it from NBA range. Deep 3 on the left wing. It is down to 7 points as Wiggly picks up his 5th. Right down the other end, reverse lay-in, no good. And reaching in on the outlet pass and picking up the foul is Isaiah Smith. A little bit of energy. Chargers faithful getting some life up there, Sean. You know, watch out. This is a big run right now for the Chargers.
And Smith careful not to slam the basketball down. He made sure he showed some good composure there. However, that foul against Sewickley Academy, the 8th on the team, and that sends the Chargers to the charity stripe.
Sewickley Academy started this quarter with a 22-8 lead. They started it with a 7-0 run that completed a 12-0 run. Currently, though, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart on a 13-0 run. Make it 14-0 as the first free throw up and good for Austin Wiggly.
And this is somewhat reminiscent of the first time these teams met this season. Sewickley Academy held a sizable lead throughout most of the first half, but Our Lady of the Sacred Heart late second quarter and third quarter really took the game over and ultimately prevailed.
Both free throws good. All of a sudden, it's a 5-point lead for Sewickley. They led by as much as 21 at the 6:20 mark in this second quarter. Almost a carry there from Warfield. Left alone in the corner. Sewickley Academy 3 from Gretsch, no good. Offensive rebound, another second chance opportunity. Lots of them here in this second quarter for Sewickley, but they haven't been able to capitalize.
And I think they might hold for the final shot here, 25 seconds on the clock. I would maybe consider trying to get the basketball into Ridgeway. I think his size advantage is really something they can exploit.
OLSH tries to double team at the top, forces a quick shot, and a missed three-pointer for Sewickley Academy. Now OLSH can get the last shot. 10 seconds as they cross the timeline. Quick one popped up by Johnson. Three-pointer no good. Offensive rebound for Wigley. Still 4 seconds on the clock. Pump fake. He puts one up from the corner. Can't get it to go, and that's how your first half will come to an end, but it ends with the Chargers of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart on a 15-0 run. They trail 32-27 to Sewickley at intermission. We'll come back, give you your first half scoring recap, but first we're going to go down to the floor. Rob McKinney with Coach Wynn Palmer of Sewickley Academy.
Coach, you are off to a great start early there in that first quarter. In the second quarter, towards the end, your team got, a little bit less competitive with their team just because of how their transition game was. How do you translate that energy from the beginning of the game now into the second half?
Well, I just thought we got excited. First quarter, played a great first quarter. And I just thought we got excited in the second quarter. It's understandable. It's a great environment. The OLSH quality team. I'm not surprised they came back on us. We're not going to blow them out. And we just got to, I think our movement off the ball is too stagnant. And we'll talk about that. We'll do a better job in the second half of moving without the ball. Okay? And then we started hoping three-point shots are going to go in. You can't hope a shot's going to go in. You got to think it's going in. So, and then defensively we gave up some offensive rebounds. So a lot of things to work on. That's the fun of basketball. We play 16. We'll make some adjustments.
And Coach Ridgway didn't play in that last game against the Chargers. He's now in this one. He's in double digits of points. What have you seen from him and also from the sophomores that have been contributing for your team all year round?
Oh, they're doing a great job. Everybody's doing a great job out here. I'm so pleased. Ridgway is showing why he's a excellent high school basketball player. He was an all-state player last year. But I think so many guys are playing well. And OLSH doing a great job trying to limit Jet Rosine's three-point shots. But then there are a lot of other options for us. So we just got to be patient.
Coach, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Rob. That's your halftime interview brought to you by Carl University, the proud sponsor of all girls scholastic sports here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We're going to take a quick break, come back with your scoring recap from the first half and thoughts going into quarter number 3, but that's when we return to the 2018 WPIAL Boys Basketball 2A Championship game here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
We couldn't score in the first quarter, so we got a little better. We executed a little better in the second quarter, picked up our defensive intensity. We thought defensively that was the difference when we switched our matchups a little bit.
Now, how do you carry that success at the end of the first half now into the second half?
Well, we just got to continue to play hard. Continue to attack the basket as much as possible, not settle for three-point shots as much. Look for something easy in transition. If not, we got to pull the ball back out and just work for a good basket.
Coach, good luck in the second half. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Coach Rodriguez. That halftime interview brought to you by Carl University, sponsoring the Stay Strong and Play On program at the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
This game and the broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the listening audience, and any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent from the WPIAL and the Trib Live High School Sports Network is strictly prohibited.
Second half tipping off in about 2 minutes' time. Game of runs, it was a 12-0 run for Sewickley Academy, and then a 15-0 run for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart to end that first half. That means the momentum going into the locker room, obviously, in favor of the Chargers, even though they're down by 5 points. You mentioned very similar to how their first matchup back in early January went, Sean Myers, a game that you got to see firsthand. And both coaches have talked about how the teams have improved over the course of this season. But I think especially with the absence today of Tyler Bradley with the injury, I really think that Our Lady of Sacred Heart making that run and staying in this ball game to get it that much closer was really key.
Yeah, in that first game, that was at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, the game the Chargers ultimately won. They were down 17-8 after the first quarter, and Sewickley Academy outscored them slightly in the second quarter, but they began to find the rhythm on the offensive side. And then in the third quarter, they had the better of the play, 18-10 over the Panthers, and then 21-16 in quarter number 4. So this is somewhat reminiscent, and I'm sure those players remember that. Really, players on both sides probably remember that. Better memories for the Chargers in that scenario than the Panthers. Coach said it, though. Yeah, you got the offense going if you're Our Lady of Sacred Heart, but it was all predicated on the defense. To make runs like that, you have to play great defense. They did not allow any points over that last half of the frame, and I think that was the biggest key. And guys like Rico Tate were difference makers at the rim with his defense. I think that's going to be the key is, yeah, you need to get your shooters going, but ultimately you're going to have to get the stops and secure the rebounds.
Last points of that quarter came from Isaiah Warfield on an and one with about 5:05 left to go in the quarter. So a 5-minute plus scoring drought right now for Sewickley Academy as the teams will switch sides. It's the rubber match. We had a rubber match last night that was a dandy in the Class 1A Boys Championship. A 54-51 victory for Vincentian to get the championship over Union last night. We'll see who gets the final victory in the grudge match here in Class 2A. Sewickley Academy with the 5-point lead, and we'll have first possession in this third quarter. Good help defense there from Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Sewickley just has to throw it back out towards center court. Spin move into the lane. Reesing gets it up and in. Jet Rosing his first points of the game. I won't say that was the easy shot maybe that Coach Palmer was looking for, but maybe easier than from 25 feet.
And I think that was the design play to get him involved right out of the break.
DeMichael from the corner, way too strong, misses everything. Smith is going to look to go 1-on-2, gets help, gets the pass back. Isaiah, and back again for 2.
That's terrific. That's how you run it to perfection. Warfield to Smith for the easy finish, and after really struggling to close out the second quarter, the Panthers on fire here to begin the third.
3-pointer from the right wing is going to go up over the scaffolding. Actually hit just the top, didn't hit anything. That's why play continues. Going down towards the other end, Smith tries to maintain possession, but hustling back after his miss was Wigley, and he's going to force the turnover back over to the Chargers.
And you've said it 3 or 4 times throughout this broadcast, the transition defense, whether it's a team effort getting back or just one player like in that scenario for the Chargers, that's key against against Sewickley Academy, a team that likes to get out and run.
So what you're saying is Quentin Hill on the carry.
I think that's somewhat what I was saying.
Sure, Mr. Kyle Dawson down there will enjoy that one as well, as a blocking foul will be called against Ridgeway. His second foul, first of the second half. Nobody really in any foul trouble. 2 fouls apiece now for Ridgeway, Smith, and Gretsch for Sewickley Academy, and 2 for Spatafor and DeMichael on the other side for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Chargers trailing by 9, trying to look down inside to Rico Tate. Had a nice second quarter, 4 of his 6 points coming in that quarter, working down low without much of a post presence, but still trying to work the ball inside out as much as possible, even if you don't have that 6'6" guy. Losing the ball on the way down the lane was Wigley, but Tate able to pick it up and right on cue gets his 8th point on the little 5-foot jumper.
He's just getting into a lot of loose balls, whether it be rebounds or that time the ball just slipped out of the hands of his teammate.
Driving down the other way, up and in for Warfield.
He's now in double figures with 10.
3 players in double figures already for the Panthers. No surprise, all 5 starters averaging over 10 points per game. Lead back up to 9 for the Panthers. Spatafor going to go cross court. A little change up in defense. 3-pointer on the left wing. Misses everything again, does DeMichael. A little trouble from outside, but team rebound will go to Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. They'll maintain possession, as that was Warfield and Gretsch going for it.
Yeah, the Chargers really are not shooting the basketball very well from the perimeter. They have 2 trifectas, one courtesy of Johnson and then Wigley, but DeMichael and Spatafor have been off on their attempts.
Euro step into the lane, no call as Warfield got demolished on the way to the hit by Austin Wigley. Possession over to Sewickley Academy. Triple team down low, and turning it over is Smith. Coming the other way on the 2-on-1. Good pass from Tate, no good, but Tate will put it back up and in, cleaning up the miss from Johnson.
Yeah, Tate did it all. The big man, I mean, he's not a gigantic player, but 6'3", he is the tallest player on the floor for the Chargers. He led the break, threw a great pass, and then followed it up on the offensive glass for the putback.
Lead down to 7 as we approach the midway point of this third quarter, and we're going to have a traveling call and some late action there as Warfield's going to claim he never heard the whistle, but he definitely took the extra step. Point of emphasis these past 2 years, Sean, in terms of getting the ball on the deck before you take that little shuffle step coming out of a pump fake.
And Dugan continued to battle after the whistle as well.
They didn't hear the whistle, Sean. We could hear it up here, but they're much closer, so they definitely could not hear it, correct?
Yeah, something like that. Hey, you play beyond the whistle in a game like this. You don't want to come up short on effort in any scenario.
Chance to cut this down to 5 or even 4 points now for the Chargers. And driving baseline, nice little finger roll from Spatafor. He's got 6.
And that's his first field goal of this contest. His previous 4 points all came from the line.
Sewickley Academy will look to answer. Their lead trimmed down to 5 again, where it was to start the second half. Gretsch pumps and drives baseline. He can't get it to fall, but back up and good for Nate Ridgway.
Ridgway did a good job. After he snagged that offensive rebound, he wasted little time. He put it back up immediately
and
for 2.
Kept the ball high, too, Sean.
You don't bring it down to the floor when you're the tallest player out there.
Don't give the little guys any chance to grab it away. Another drive into the lane, up and good for Dugan.
Dugan with a nice contribution, 4 points off of the bench. He's the only reserve, either way, that has found the score sheet.
And a good job of avoiding contact as he drove to the hoop. No block, no charge, no nothing. Ball on the floor, diving for it, but unable to stay on top. It was Warfield. Coming the other way is Johnson. He's stripped away by Sewickley Academy. Great play coming back by Rosing. 3-on-1 for Sewickley. It'll be an easy lay-in for Isaiah Warfield.
And a good job by Warfield to use the rim as a protector from Spatafor as he went to the reverse.
Turnovers each way. Transition opportunity for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart turned into an odd man rush the other direction. And we're going to get another offensive foul. It's out of control. Austin Wigley drove the lane, left his feet, tried to pass it to the corner, but position was gained by Sewickley Academy, even though the OLSH fans not too pleased with it.
And from our vantage point, you could sort of see it developing there, James, that Wigley driving the baseline didn't really have any real estate. He was going to try to make the pass into the corner, and I think that the Panthers read that as well. I believe they've announced that as the 3rd foul against Wigley, so that could be problematic. He does stay out there on the floor. If I'm the Panthers, I'm looking to attack.
Driving there is Gretsch. He stops at the foul line. He'll hand it back off. Up with the right hand. Can't get it to fall. Was Rosing. Really struggling from the field today. Coming the other way in transition. Shot up and a charge call.
That's got to be about 5 offensive fouls against the Chargers. That time negating what would have been a hoop by Donovan Johnson. Give credit to the senior reserve, Nacito.
I thought he came in a little bit late here and slid under. He definitely did. I think that might be a missed call on Coach Rodriguez, and the OLSH fans not too pleased with it, but the officials say otherwise. If this was college, it definitely would have been a block because he was in the restricted zone, but nonetheless, it is another charge and the 9th turnover against Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Sewickley driving the lane. Shot no good from Ridgway. Offensive rebound contained by Sewickley Academy, though. Gretsch with possession. He nearly loses it in the corner. Bodies all over the floor right now for both teams. Driving baseline, and we're going to get a push foul on the drive. Looks like Dugan will pick that one up.
But that second opportunity created by Nacito. He's providing a real spark off of the bench. Dugan charged with his second.
You're right, Nacito coming off the bench. You mentioned that none of these players for Sewickley Academy off the bench averaging more than 2 points per game. Nacito is the one with 2 points per game.
And he's averaging 4 rebounds as well, and that's key. That's an area where they have improved throughout the campaign, according to Coach Palmer, in terms of their bench production, not necessarily in points, but in other aspects.
Definitely offensive window men as well. Shot goes up, and we're going to get a traveling call as Warfield got blocked. Coach Palmer's asking for the held ball. I'm thinking the same thing, Sean.
Yeah,
but
that looked like a clear jump ball scenario. He went up for the shot. A defender's hand was on, and he came back down to the floor. In a sense, it would have been Our Lady of the Sacred Heart's basketball either way, but Sewickley Academy potentially loses a future possession because the arrow didn't change in that scenario.
Yeah, was in favor of the Chargers and still is on that call. Driving baseline there is Spatafor. Shot no good. Put back up and in. Another second chance bucket for Rico Tate. He's in double figures.
Just about every loose ball is ending up in the grasp of Rico Tate. He's doing an incredible job.
8 points, 8 rebounds per game on average for Tate. This one knocked out of bounds. Wigley saying he never touched it, but possession will stay with the Panthers of Sewickley Academy as they'll have Rosing check out.
By the way, I know we've mentioned how great these coaches are, but how lucky we are to deal with them. They have been so helpful throughout this entire process, giving us all the information we need.
And then some. Another drive through a double team. Ridgway able to collect his shot after the block. Gets it out to the corner. Gretsch, nothing but net.
His first point since quarter number 1.
Extends the lead out to 8 as we hit 2 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Spatafor looks one-on-one, instead swings around the perimeter. Now backing in is Wigley. He gets it down low to Tate. Good inside-out play. Lefty, three-pointer, back iron, no good from Johnson. The long rebound will be tracked down by Gretsch.
And Johnson was fading away as soon as he released that basketball.
Sewickley Academy looking to extend the lead, maybe getting away with a travel there was Nacito in the corner. Never had possession. Down to a $1:30 left. Good crossover into the lane, but shot blocked by the rim from Smith. Possession goes back over to OLSH. Bodies fall down low. Can they get it down to Tate in time? No, they do not. Good job getting back to his feet. Nate Ridgway had gotten knocked down and ends up getting the steal. Now in transition 3-on-2 the other way. And ball's going to get knocked out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Sewickley Academy. Lots of reaching, lots of pushing. Nothing called either way there, Sean.
Yeah, that's the right call, at least on the possession last off of Sewickley Academy. But I think both teams were a little sloppy there on those sequences as Our Lady of Sacred Heart trying to thread the needle on a pass inside. It just wasn't there. And then the Panthers, a little too anxious on the fast break. Would have been probably better served just to slow it down and set up in the half court.
1 minute left in the quarter. In this Class 2A championship game, the rubber match between section rivals. Back-to-back times these two teams meet in the finals, and that pass down low intended for Tate, just too hot to handle, goes into media row.
And that's one that if Tate's able to come up with it, probably has an easy layup opportunity, but just through his hands, as you mentioned, a little bit too much mustard behind it by Donovan Johnson.
See with 45 seconds left, and see Coach Wynn Palmer put up the one finger. See if Sewickley does go in four corners and try to wait for the last shot.
Looks like the Chargers are trying to make sure they don't do that.
This same scenario at the end of the second quarter, OLSH sent two players at the ball and forced an early shot and ended up having a couple of chances of their own at the other end. See if they do something similar here. Ridgway dribbles out near the pit logo here at the Pete.
Again, it is so impressive for a 6'6" Ridgway. He can shoot threes. He can handle the basketball from midcourt in.
Gretsch gets poked away from behind. Still no foul called. He goes on the floor to save it, and it goes out of bounds into the Sewickley bench, but they're going to say OLSH touched it last. Just a few ticks left.
Wigley who got the last fingertip on it. Well, I don't know. He tried to at least get his hand on it, but I'm not sure if he ever really was able to touch the basketball.
Pass goes down low on the inbounds, and there's the touch foul. Going to get called on Rico Tate, only his first.
And the fourth team foul against the Chargers, just one against Sewickley Academy.
By the way, special thanks to our incredible production crew over to our left here today, giving us all these great angles, a great instant replay here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
How about Rob McKinney, too, looking dapper down there with the interviews.
Oh, you want to see dapper? Wait till you see our next broadcast crew. 2 seconds on the clock. This shot goes up, banked in, but traveling called first against Rosing. He finally gets one to fall from deep range, and it doesn't count, Sean Myers.
And there's 0.6 seconds remaining as Washington checks in for the first time for Sewickley Academy, the 6-foot senior.
So 0.6, enough time to catch and shoot, but it has to be pretty quick, and that won't be enough. Good if it goes, and it bangs almost in from Rico Tate. And that's how quarter number 3 comes to an end. Sewickley Academy 43, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart 37. We'll be back with quarter number 4 of the Class 2A Boys Basketball Championships. You're watching them here only on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives
Sewickley Academy looking for the repeat. They have the 8-point lead over Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Back to the action alongside Sean Myers. I'm James Dotson. OLSH with a big first possession here in quarter number 4. Shot up, Spatafora, and nothing but net. That's a big start, cuts the lead down to 5 right away for the Chargers.
And this has been a team in the Chargers who's been cold from behind the arc, but Spatafora, we'll see if that gets them going.
Smith looks to drive. Goes back out, one-on-one, gets knocked away briefly, leans in the air, can't get it to fall. Good job on the offensive rebound on the backside there by Gretsch. Ball almost into the backcourt, good save there from Warfield. Right around, easy, up, in with the slam. Nate Ridgway with a two-handed dunk.
Throw it down, big man. Going Bill Walton after that slam dunk by the junior.
Send it in, Jerome. Two-pointer, foot on the line there. First Spatafora, he's heating up. You mentioned
he gets a look when he gets hot that you know he's in the zone, and I think we all saw that look after that last hoop.
All free throws in the first half. Couple of 2s and a 3 now in the second half as The OLSH faithful give us the reminder. He is a freshman, Dante Spatafor, the freshman averaging 14 points per game. Warfield drives into a triple team, kicks it out. The three-pointer short, no good from Ridgeway, but another second chance opportunity on the offensive rebound, and that thwarted just as quickly on the steal by Wigley. He gets it up, laying it in. Guess who? Dante Spatafor with 7 quick points to start this fourth quarter for the Chargers, a lead down to 3.
And when he gets hot, it is almost impossible to defend Spatafor. That was acrobatic.
Good find, too, for Wigley. Driving the lane, and we're going to get shot up. No! Charge! Win Palmer losing his mind. 2 officials kind of paused there, Sean, but I don't know how that's not a charging call. It felt like he was set for a long time there, was Donovan Johnson.
Yeah, great job by Johnson. Just a bit out of control that time for Smith. And momentum now on the side of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. They have it down to a single possession deficit, trailing by 3.
Could cut it down to 1 or even tie on this possession.
Win Palmer not happy, to say the least.
Coach Win Palmer with the perfect name for a coach. His team's still winning, but led by as many as 21 early in the second quarter. Now down to 3. Spatafor up in, but he gets the charge call right back. 6 now.
I don't think I have seen a high school game with this many offensive fouls ever, and I think that's the right call, but it's just rare that you see this much anticipation from the defenses. And I think that's a factor of these teams already playing twice in the regular season. They know what to expect now from the opposing players.
And playing each other 3 times last year as well. Get to know your foe quite well when you play that many times over the span. Not to mention these 2 schools less than 5 miles apart. A lot of friends playing against each other. Pump fake, shot up, no good. But getting the offensive rebound, no block out, was Ridgeway. His second attempt blocked away. Spatafor with possession. He'll cross the timeline. He gets it back. He wants the ball in his hands. Goes to the lane. This one up. Gets the roll and the foul.
I was going to say before he took that shot, there's no way you're going to get the basketball out of Spatafor's hands. His energy and enthusiasm is unmatched. He might have the nickname the Pittsburgh Kid if he keeps it up here tonight.
6 points through the first 3 quarters. He's got 9 in the opening 2 minutes and change of this fourth quarter. And a chance with a 3-point play to knot the score up at 47, and he does.
First tie since we've tipped off here today.
47 all. See how Sewickley responds. Good hesitation move right into the lane. Up and in goes Warfield. He's got 14.
That's how you answer for Sewickley Academy. Warfield doing a great job getting to the cup, hanging in the air for 2.
Spatafor show. He'll pull up from NBA range. This one rattles around, but no good. Warfield pulls down the rebound for Sewickley Academy. Maybe a little bit too out of his element on that one there, Sean.
I think that's a freshman play right there. It's a heat check, to be sure.
Into the lane goes Gretsch, looks for a cutter. Pass back through. Nice pass to find Ridgeway for the bucket. Ridgeway from Rosing for 2, and a timeout called for Sewickley.
What a catch first by Jet Rosing, and then the bounce pass on the backhand. Terrific play there for the Panthers. That gives us an opportunity with the timeout to let you know that if you're a working professional ready to move up in your career, Seton Hill University has a program just for you. Seton Hill's adult degree program offers flexible undergraduate degree courses in areas like accounting, criminal justice, business, and human services. The adult degree program has 5 start dates a year, offers convenient course times, financial aid, a 96% placement rate, and career services for life. Register for our next info session and learn more at setonhill.edu/ADP. Seton Hill University, this way up.
That's Sean Myers. I'm James Dotson here at the Peterson Events Center, the Class 2A Championship. Sewickley Academy has never trailed in this ball game, Sean. They led by as many as 21 at the 6:20 mark in the second quarter. OLSH finishes that second quarter on a 15-0 run and have started out fourth quarter on fire, mainly from Dante Spatafor. Puts up, in this quarter alone, 10 points.
Yeah, I would say it's almost entirely Spatafor, at least on the offensive side. Now, defensively, everyone's chipping in for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. So now the task for the Panthers becomes make someone else beat us. Get the basketball out of Spatafor's hands, or at least force him into very difficult shots.
And now the 4-point advantage. Sewickley called their second timeout. 3 timeouts remaining for each team. Foul situation right now. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart with 5 team fouls. Sewickley Academy with 3. Only foul trouble. Isaiah Smith has 3 for the Panthers. Wigley has 3 for the OLSH Chargers. Freshman Spatafora will swing it over to DeMichael. DeMichael's been quiet in this contest. Spatafora will drive right baseline. Good pass down low for the lay-in. Johnson with the deuce. All set up from Spatafora.
Donovan Johnson's first points of this second half.
Lead back down to 2, cut in half by OLSH on that possession. Ridgway, he's going to look to take Tate one-on-one. Goes to the elbow, kicks it out. Pump fake, good drive into the lane. Another kick out. Smith left alone, top of the key. His shot short, rattling around, can't get it to fall. And we're going to get a jump ball on the rebound as both Tate and Ridgway had a firm grip on it and went to the court. The ball's going to stay with Sewickley.
And we mentioned before, it's the blue line that is the 3-point line in effect here today. And we see players not only behind the white line, but usually a couple steps behind that white line taking these deep shots.
Get back to that thought here in a second as another deep 3 comes in and goes in. Jet Rosing, his first. He's 45% from three-pointer on the year. His first trifecta of the night.
Yeah, he has 5 points, but they've all come in this second half.
And a steal at midcourt, or so Isaiah Smith thought, but he's going to get called for the reach-in.
If Rosing can get hot, he can put up points much like we've seen Spatafora do in quick order. Tough break there for Smith as he thought he had the pick 2, if you will, on the basketball floor, and he's charged with his 4th foul in the process. He's staying out there on the floor. Right now, if you're Our Lady of the Sacred Heart and Spatafora, attack him.
Right wing goes Wigley, has to pick up his dribble, sends it back up to Spatafora. Those two playing catch around the perimeter. DeMichael puts up a 3. His shot's been off all night from beyond the arc. Can't get that one to go. Gretsch gets the rebound. Sewickley will look in transition, and now smartly with that 5-point lead, will pull it back out. How long before you start fouling if you're the Chargers? Driving the lane, shot no good as the C's parted. OLSH now with a quick 3-on-1 in transition. Good Euro step up and in. Donovan Johnson to avoid the travel, avoid the contact. He's now in double figures.
Well, you don't even have to think about fouling now that it's a 1-possession game. You just go and play some strong defense, much like the Chargers have done this entire second half.
2:45 left to go. And what we knew would be the dandy of a Class 2A championship didn't look that way early. Sewickley is led by as many as 21 points today.
Smith has to be careful here on the drives.
And he had the clear lane after the crossover, couldn't get it to fall. They're going to say last touch on the rebound out of bounds against the OLSH Chargers, so Sewickley will maintain possession. Ugh. Too close to call. I'm glad we're up here and not the ones down on the court having to make that call, the men in stripes. Warfield, he'll look to dribble drive. A lot of one-on-one play right now for Sewickley Academy, and a foul going to be called for the shot against DeMichael.
Yeah, that the 6th-team foul against the Chargers. And one reason why I said you have to be careful if you're Smith, and maybe why the Panthers will take the basketball out of his hands primarily, is that we've seen so many offensive fouls. And speaking of which, James, this one goes against the Panthers on the inbound, leading to a turnover.
Yeah, Ridgway extended the arm a little bit, and maybe a bit of an acting job from the OLSH defender. He may have embellished it just a little bit, but...
And if you're a player here, go to school. You know the officials are calling a ton of offensive fouls, in particular charges. You have to make sure that you don't put yourself in that scenario where it's even close.
We have at least 10 offensive fouls in this game, Sean.
I would bet there's probably more offensive than defensive.
You might be right. Well, might have to get that tally. Driving the lane is DeMichael, and he's swatted away by Sewickley Academy defense. It was Warfield who got in there to knock it down, but it goes out of play. Possession back over, or staying with OLSH, I should say.
The team leader in blocks, adding to his season total.
Less than 2 minutes to play. Wigley will drive, spin in the lane, no good. Another offensive rebound for Tate, and he's hacked. Warfield will pick up the personal, his second.
Now Tate's making a case maybe to be the most valuable player if Our Lady of the Sacred Heart finds a way to secure the victory. He's coming up with every loose ball.
Tate with 12, taking his first trip to the free throw line, and he misses the first of 2. Still a one-possession game, though, for the Chargers. They've never led in this ball game, Sean. They've trailed by as many as 21. Second shot short as well, and skying up and getting the rebound is Ridgway. Big free throws there at the 150 mark. Not falling for the Chargers. Ridgway, he drives right down the lane. Good pass down low, up and in. Gretsch with the bucket.
Great job of Ridgway driving. He knew where he wanted to go with the basketball, but he made sure he put the brakes on before he made that pass. He didn't want to bowl into a defender. Again, a 6'6" big man with the ability to drive and dish like that. That is a rarity.
Full timeout called by Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. We'll take a quick one here as well. Been out of hand early. Sewickley Academy led by 21 early in the second quarter. OLSH has chipped away. They tied it once at 47 apiece at 5:19 in this quarter, Sean. But right now, Sewickley Academy extended back out to a 5-point advantage.
And the Chargers, they need to have a fruitful possession here.
Almost lost possession there in the deflected pass. Deep three, nothing but net. Austin Wigley.
Wigley sprinted in after he released it. He did not think that shot was going down. He and his teammates pleasantly surprised that it did.
So with a minute 10 on the clock, back to a one-possession game. Elbow to the face there taken by DeMichael, no call. Smith looks to dribble drive. He goes into the lane. Shot no good, but a foul is going to be called on the block. 2 free throws coming with just over a minute to play.
A good take here by Smith. He's rewarded with a trip to the stripe.
And that was the 4th personal against Austin Wigley. Those two have been guarding each other most of the game, now each with 4 personal fouls as the first free throw up and good for Isaiah Smith, a 74% free throw shooter. Sewickley Academy as a team, 74% from the line on the season. If it becomes a free throw shooting contest, think advantage Panthers. And second shot good as well, back up to a 2-possession game.
Yeah, that's big. And now, if you're Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, you realize that you're going to have to come up with points once again on a possession.
Don't need a 3 necessarily, just need quick buckets. So 3-pointer on the way, misses everything. Does Spatafora. Tate gets the rebound, kicks it out. Johnson for 3.
He had his feet set. Great job of Tate, not only meeting the basketball on the air ball by Spatafora, but finding his open teammate. And now a foul committed, and with 37.9 seconds remaining, I'm not sure that you needed to take that foul there yet.
Well, you know, you've seen the Panthers of Sewickley Academy be able to hold on to the ball for long chunks of time. Maybe if you're Coach Rodriguez, you're thinking you just need to slow this game down any way that you can.
Well, there's a problem here for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart now. 4 fouls for DeMichael, 4 fouls for Wigley as well. So if either one of them pick up another foul, they're disqualified, and I think we can agree there's a pretty significant drop-off between any of the 5 starters and the reserves, really for both these teams, in particular for the Chargers, as now Coach Win Palmer, he's not happy. He wants an explanation.
No, there's a delay here. I thought they pointed. Yeah, they're pointing, and they're going to make Isaiah Smith check out of the game. Apparently there's blood on the uniform, and as a result, instead of taking him out of the game, Win Palmer is going to call a 30-second timeout to try to maintain keeping his player out on the court with 36 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Reminder that when this game does conclude, we will have the medal ceremonies live here on the Triple I of High School Sports Network, in addition to the scoring recap, which is sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine. And I'm not surprised this is going to come down to the buzzer, James. I think when the brackets were released, this was the expectation. Yeah, Jeanette was a good team. Maybe the Jayhawks are the only team that could disrupt what seemed to be the likely outcome, and it came to fruition. Number 1 against number 2, the section foes. They split the regular season, and what a rubber match it has been. And don't close the book, regardless of what happens here. These teams heading into the state playoffs, wouldn't be surprised if they run into each other once again somehow.
6 teams will make it into the state tournament. We'll run that down once all those seedings are figured out based on the follow the leader format that we have. We'll run all those down during the post-game show. This is the second of 4 games tonight at the Peterson Event Center. Next up is the 4A Girls Championship. Cardinal Ward North Catholic against Beaver in a 1-3 game. You'll see some sharp-dressed men on camera for that one, as first free throw is up and good for Warfield.
That's why I have to wonder the decision, question that decision to commit the foul that quickly. Pretty much anyone you foul for Sewickley Academy is going to be pretty efficient at the stripe.
currently on the game. 6 of 7. Make it 7 of 8 for Sewickley Academy. Back to a 3-point lead. Still plenty of time. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart does not need to go for a 3 immediately. Trying to run the weave and getting trapped up. Wigley may have gotten away with a double dribble. His leaner, no good. Tate, up, in! I thought I heard a whistle. No foul call. Down to a 1-point game. Full court pressure on with 20 seconds left, and another foul will be committed into backcourt. Donovan Johnson will pick up that foul with officially 19.2 on the clock.
And Rico Tate keeping his team in it, winning the battle inside. Well, surprising that Ridgway was not in there trying to box out Tate. He was out more further from the hoop. And now Gretsch to the stripe.
Still 1-1. That was the 9th team foul. Gretsch, 63% shooter, the senior with ice water in his veins.
This would be, needless to say, a massive second shot.
Gretsch hits both. Back to a 3-point lead, a full timeout called by Coach Wynn Palmer. His team with a 3-point lead. Here's the question that will be asked, Sean. Still a lot of time left maybe before you're thinking about this, but are you a proponent of you have a 3-point lead, foul them so they can only get 2 shots at the free throw line?
I think at the high school level it works a lot better because the officials usually did not give any semblance of a continuation. So as long as that player's nowhere near the shooting motion, he will head to the line just for a 1-and-1 scenario. It would be the 7th team foul against the Panthers. But assuming that Sewickley Academy does not foul, and I think there's way too much time to consider that now. You don't want to be giving any free points with almost 20 seconds remaining on the clock. The question for the Chargers is, do you need a 3? Typically the answer is absolutely not, but with how good the Panthers are at the foul line, I think you would kind of like to get a good look at a 3 here if you're Mike Rodriguez and Our Lady of the Sacred Heart.
6 for 6 on charity stripe in this quarter alone, 8 of 9 in the ball game.
Yeah, the obvious answer is always get the best first shot that you have. So if you get a quick look at the cup right away, take it. If you get a quick look at a 3, take that shot as well. And especially if you have someone capable of knocking it down, which when you look at these teams, pretty much anyone on the floor with the exception of Tate can hit shots from behind the arc.
And with Tate down low getting the offensive rebounds, averaging 8 per game according to our
colleague. He's above 8 tonight.
Josh Roundtree has him at 9 at the moment. It feels like a lot more than that at times, especially the way he's been the Windex man on the offensive front. Across the timeline comes Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Spatafor gonna kick it out, 3-pointer on the way, short from Johnson, backside rebound knocked out of bounds, last touch by OLSH.
And that time it was a good job of Ridgway getting underneath the hoop, tracking the basketball for the rebound. He got to it just a bit quicker than Tate, and Tate got the last fingertips on it.
Inbounding under his defensive hoop.
Panthers do have a timeout here if they struggle to get the basketball in initially.
And we're going to have an off-the-ball foul called immediately by Austin Wigley. That's his 5th.
That wasn't the game plan. It was something that Wigley was hoping to avoid, certainly, as he's now disqualified, and it sends the Panthers to the line without having to struggle to even get the basketball in.
The only good news is that no time goes off the clock. But with that 5th foul, it'll now be a chance to possibly put an exclamation point on this one, and it'll be Isaiah Smith shooting 2. But first, checking out of the ball game is Austin Wigley. Finishes with 10 points. And Michael Dugan will check in his place.
And I don't think we've mentioned yet, there's not a single senior on this Our Lady of the Sacred Heart roster. He's one of the experienced players. He's still just a junior.
So everybody coming back for Coach Rodriguez. Big first free throw there, though, for Isaiah Smith. Makes this a 2-possession game, 63-59.
We're at the point with Sewickley Academy, you just assume that the shots are going to go in when they're at the stripe.
That one back
iron.
iron.
As I say that, of course.
Of course, Sean Myers jinxes it, so still life for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Picks up his dribble, pump fake, shot up from in front of the bench. Gonna be too strong, no good. Long rebound controlled by Sewickley. There's the horn, there's the buzzer. You're back-to-back WPIAL Class 2A boys basketball champions, the Sewickley Academy Panthers.
What a performance. It came down to the wire. They were able to hold off a great second half charge by Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, but again, Sewickley Academy never trailed in this game, and that was key, that they never fell into a deficit in the second half.
They hold on for the 5th championship in school history. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, come back with the medal ceremony, our post-game stats, and our thoughts and feelings from this Class 2A Boys Basketball Championship. You're watching it here exclusively on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
The team at UP.
Back here at the Peterson Events Center, Sewickley Academy, the champions of Class 2A Boys yet again. 3rd straight time they've been here, Sean Myers, 2nd straight time that they've taken home the gold medal. They had to hang on to do it, but that huge stretch at the beginning of the game, a big key for Coach Wynn Palmer to get the win here today.
Yeah, they really came out of the gate full of fire and fury, 22-8, outscoring Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. When you look at the final 3 quarters, the Chargers certainly had the better of the play. But ultimately, when you build up that early lead, you can sustain some runs against you, and that's exactly what the Sewickley Academy Panthers team did. Again, mentally, it is so important when you have a lead like that you never see the other team take the lead in the second half. And that's exactly what happened, because Our Lady of the Sacred Heart did pull even at one juncture, 47-47, and then the next 4 points went to the Panthers, and they're able to make that lead stand. Really, you look at almost everyone on the floor, they found ways to contribute, and this was a great matchup. I think we can agree these are 2 of the best teams and 2 of the most evenly pitted teams in any of these championships, boys or girls, for these 12 games here this weekend.
See Our Lady of the Sacred Heart coach Mike Rodriguez giving out a color that Our Lady of the Sacred Heart is by now sick of having to wear. The silver medal for the 2nd straight year. 5 times they've made it to the WPIAL championship, Sean Myers. 5 times the runner-up have not been able to get that gold medal. Unbelievable comeback. That 15-0 run to end the first half made it so it was a contest the entire 3rd and 4th quarter, but just in the end a little too late, and just falling behind in the early going did not work out well for them.
Yeah, it's a game of runs. We knew exactly what Our Lady of the Sacred Heart was going to have in terms of the fortitude to come back into the contest, and they made the run. Ultimately, I look at a guy, Dante Spatafor. He's a freshman. He scored 16 points, and he scored 12 of those in the second half, 10 of which came in short order in the 4th quarter. With no seniors on the team, this is probably going to be a team that gets back here again next year. Now, you don't want to jump ahead too much, but with no seniors, I think it is a tremendous accomplishment with only 2 players with experience from a year ago to get back to this point and to be this competitive. And keep in mind, the season is far from over for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. I would not be surprised if they make a deep run in the state playoffs as well.
You mentioned Spatafor with 16 points. Let's go down the UPMC Sports Medicine's scoring recap. It's brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine, powering the Stay Strong and Play On program at Trib HSSN.
We'll begin with the number 2, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Chargers. 59 total points for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, just 8 in the first quarter, but 19 in the second, 10 in the third, and 22 in the fourth. They had 4 players reach double figures. Dante Spatafor, as I mentioned, leading the way with 16. Rico Tate not far behind. He was a beast on the boards as well. 14 points for him. 13 for Donovan Johnson, who played through knee tendonitis, a gutsy effort for him. Austin Wigley with 10 points. Darren DeMichael, however, was the one player that was well below his typical scoring output. He contributed just 2, and off the bench, Michael Dugan chipped in with 4 points for the Chargers. On the other side, for the victorious Sewickley Academy Panthers, 22 points in the first. That was the difference in the game. 10 in the second, 13 in the third, and 18 in the fourth quarter. As the scoring totals as follows: Nate Ridgway leading the way, 17 points for him. That, of course, a game high. Just behind him, Isaiah Warfield with 16 points, 14 for Isaiah Smith. David Gretsch with 11, Jet Rosing 5 points, but they did all come in the second half. No bench scoring for the Panthers in this one. The starting 5 was good enough to get the job done.
That's your scoring recap, brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine, powering the Stay Strong and Play On program at the Trib Live High School Sports Network. So that means now the state bracket is set for everybody out of District 7, the WPIAL. Run them down here momentarily. Sewickley Academy takes the number 1 seed. They will face the 4th place team out of District 10. That will be the loser of Wilmington and Cochranton. Our Lady of Sacred Heart gets the number 2 seed. They'll play the 4th place team out of District 6. That'll be the loser in the consolation game between Homer Center and Bishop McCourt. The rest of the rankings, 3rd place now will be Chartiers Houston, 4th place Jeanette, 5th place Leechburg, and 6th place will be Springdale. Those 6 representing the WPIAL in the PIAA tournament, which will begin coming up next week for Class 2A. First round games will be actually not until next Saturday, March the 10th.
Yeah, you get a full week of rest, 8 days until they return to action for both the Chargers and the Panthers. And for Sewickley Academy, this was a major goal. Usually coaches that know they have a good team, they set 3 goals. Section championship, well, these teams tied. District championship, that went to the Panthers. And then state championship, that was the goal, and that was accomplished a year ago for the Panthers. They'll try to do so again, although the Chargers certainly have plenty to play for and plenty to be optimistic about heading into the states as well.
Celebration is on for Sewickley Academy. Coach Wynn Palmer with another win at the Peterson Event Center, his 2nd in as many years and the 5th in school history. Well, how about wrap things up here from the Peterson Event Center? Sean Myers, some final thoughts on this one before we send it out to the next crew coming in to take on the Class 4A Girls Championship coming up next.
As the Panthers posing for the photo op with the trophy, we have to give credit to head coach Wynn Palmer. I know he would deflect that praise upon his players, but 635th win here this afternoon. He already had 6 state titles, 2 in Pennsylvania, 4 in Virginia. He now has 5 WPIAA titles as well. The athletic director and the head coach for Sewickley Academy, just adding more and more to his tremendous resume.
1 already done. 1 repeat in the WPIAL, now looking for the state championship repeat. Your final score one last time here from the Peterson Event Center. Sewickley Academy 63, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart 59. Thanks for tuning in for my broadcast.